Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Evening Prime, the primetime news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice.
कांग्रेस सरकार कुछ नहीं कर पाया.
All the best.
We, the people of the Northeast, can also contest it.
पूर्वोत्तर में क्या रही आज की सुर्खियां?
A very good afternoon. You're watching Northeast Live. I am Pooja, and we start the bulletin with a big story from Mizoram. A solo protest by an environmental activist in Mizoram is hogging the limelight. Wanram Chuangi, popularly known as Ruat Fela Nu, was on a sit-in protest at Aizawl, demanding a halt to environmental degradation caused by the highway expansion and widening project undertaken by the National Highway Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited. Well, Ruat Fela Nu's main charge is that the huge quantity of soil excavated during the highway widening and construction process are dumped on the slopes and are finding their way into a few key rivers that are choking the flow. Well, these rivers, she says, are a source of sustenance for the people of Mizoram. And here she highlighted that the developmental projects at the mouth of Tlawang River has had terrible effects. And what you see on your screens are the visuals of construction site on one side and affected river on the other, where the water flow has been reportedly choked. So sources said that the activist has filed RTI petitions to ascertain whether due environmental clearances were obtained before going ahead with the work by the NHIDC. In most cases, the RTI replies allegedly revealed there were no clear permissions obtained. And on Friday, Ruat Fela sat alone protesting in front of the Mizoram Environment, Forest and Climate Change Department office in Aizawl with placards. Well, she handed over a memorandum to the Principal Chief Conservator of Forest, demanding a halt in construction activities in as many as 4 national highways within Mizoram. Well, these are National Highway number 6, selling to Zokhathar, National Highway 102B to Kaifang to Manipur, well, National Highway 302 Lunglei to Labum, and on the other hand, National Highway 54 Aizawl to Tuipan. All right, so if we talk about the highways for which the protest took place, she handed over a memorandum to the Principal Conservator of Forest. Well, the Interministerial Central Team all right, so So if we talk about the highways, National Highway 102B, Kefang to Manipur, and the other highways which we are talking about is National Highway 102 or Kefang to Manipur, a solo protest by the Mizoram activist Vanram Chuangi, popularly known as Ruat Fela Nu, was on a sit-in protest at Aizawl, demanding a halt to environmental degradation by the highway expansion and widening project undertaken by the National Highway Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited. Well, she handed over a memorandum to the Principal Chief Conservator of Forest. And the highways which we are talking about are National Highway 06, Selling to Zokhatar, National Highway 102B, Kefang to Manipur, National Highway 302, Lunglei to Labung, and National Highway 54, Aizawl to Tuipan. So Ruat Fela, in her memorandum to the PCCF, accused NHIDC of not adhering to the Environment Management Plan and said unmonitored construction work has hit the state, including villages like Tuipui D and others. The activist, who has also drawn the attention of Mizoram Chief Minister Zoramthanga, said that NHIDC has not even replied to notices served by the Mizoram Pollution Control Board in 2021. Shifting focus now, the Inter-Ministerial Central Team has arrived in Haflong, where it is inspecting the damages caused in Dima Hasao in recent floods. Well, during the visit, the team will review losses incurred in the Hill District in the last few days. The team will also hold a review meet at the Dima Hasao Deputy Commissioner's office and also make a visit to the relief camps to ascertain the conditions of flood-affected people. So the Inter-Ministerial Central Team has arrived in Haflong, where it is inspecting the damages caused in Dima Hasao in recent floods. And during the visit, the team will review losses incurred in the Hill District in the last few days. The team will also hold a review meet at Dima Hasao Deputy Commissioner's office and also make a visit to the relief camps to ascertain the conditions of flood-affected people. Now, Central Team has already arrived at the spot. They are assessing the situation. They are inspecting the damages incurred by the losses incurred in the Hill District in the last few days. And the team is also to review a meet at Dima Hasao Deputy Commissioner's office and also make a visit to the relief camps to ascertain the conditions of the flood-affected people. So the Inter-Ministerial Central Team, who has arrived in Haflong, is inspecting the damages caused in Dima Hasao in recent floods. And we are trying to connect to our reporter Swadeep Hasamsa to get us some more inputs, exactly what the inspection is right now underway at the point where the losses has taken place. And the inspection team, the Central Team, is taking a stock of the entire situation with the Deputy Commissioner of Dima Hasao, Nazreen Ahmed, there. But the Central Team is also to visit the relief camps to ascertain the conditions of the flood-affected people. And they are also going to visit the relief camps to see that the necessary things or the relief materials have reached to the people or not, to ask the locals at this point in time how the situation is there after the losses were incurred in the Hill District in the last few days. And just to tell our viewers that recently, due to floods, several damages took place in the Haflong, and the Inter-Ministerial Team was supposed to arrive, and they have arrived in Dima Hasao to get an insight of what the situation looks like after after the losses that was incurred in the Hill District in last few days. And the team will also hold a review meet at the Dima Hasao Deputy Commissioner's office and also make a visit to the relief camps and talk to the people out there that the relief materials which they have been provided is sufficient for them or not, and what are the problems they are facing at this point in time. These are some of the things which will be touched upon by the central team who are assessing, who are inspecting the entire damages that has been caused during the floods. All right, my colleague Swadeep Hasamsa joins us live to give us the latest. Well, Swadeep, central team अभी तक कितना इंस्पेक्शन कर चुके हैं? क्या कुछ रिपोर्ट बनाया है? कितना लॉसेस हो चुका है अभी तक? क्या कहेंगे आप?
जी बिल्कुल। सेंट्रल टीम पहले तो एयरक्राफ्ट से हेलीकॉप्टर से आके आर्मी कैंप पे, असम राइफल कैंप पे उन्होंने नामा। उसके बाद साथ ही साथ में आपका लोअर हाफलोंग का जो रोड है, लंका हाफलोंग तक कनेक्टिविटी है, जो उसको भी उन्होंने जायजा लिया। उसके साथ साथ में मोलहोय एक गांव है जहां हमने थोड़ी देर पहले हमारे दर्शकों को लाइव पर हमने दिखाया था कि गिलगल जो गांव है वहां पर भी गया था। उसके साथ साथ में एनडी राजी, जहाँ एनडी राजी पे गया, फिर वहां पर उसके बाद सीधे डिमालिक राजी पे गया, डिमालिक राजी है वहां पे भी गया, और फिर से यहाँ न्यू हाफलोंग रेलवे स्टेशन में आने का बात था, लेकिन आधे रास्ते से ही वो लोग आके चला गया क्योंकि रोड कनेक्टिविटी अभी तक पूरी तरह से शायद रिस्टोर नहीं हुआ है। और उसके बाद सीजीएम कोर्ट का सामने में जो एक स्टेट हाईवे है, जो हाफलोंग दटिंगा फीडर रोड हम लोग पॉपुलरली कहते हैं, वहां पर भी सिंकिंग हो गया था, उसको भी जायजा लेंगे। उसके साथ साथ में जो सारा जो है अविनाश कुमार का लीडरशिप में जो सेंट्रल टीम आया है, उसको कंपनी कर रहा हमारा डिमा हासाओ डिस्ट्रिक्ट का डिप्टी कमिश्नर नजरीन अहमद, उसके साथ में प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी जो टीटी दौलत वो भी साथ में उनके साथ कंपनी करके जा रहा है। और उसके साथ में तमाम जो लाइन डिपार्टमेंट है, जैसे पीडब्ल्यूडी और उसके साथ जो दूसरे रास्ता का जो डिपार्टमेंट है, उन सभी लोग यहाँ पर उसके साथ कंपनी करके जा रहा है। उसके साथ जो होम ऑफिस का जो काफी सारा टीम आया है, वो जायजा ले रहा है कौन कहाँ पे डैमेजेस हुआ है। और खास बात ये भी है कि डिमाली गांव में एक जीसी लंथासा हाई स्कूल जो है, वो पूरी मिट्टी से मलबे में पूरा दब गया था, पूरे हलेन की वजह से। उसकी वहां में भी उन्होंने जायजा लिया। और यहाँ ट्रेन रेलवे स्टेशन में आने का बात था, वहां पर यहाँ का जो प्रोग्राम है स्टेशन तक नहीं आ पाया। लेकिन हालांकि मैं ये भी बता देता हूँ कि न्यू हाफलोंग रेलवे स्टेशन है, अभी रिस्टोरेशन का काम है, जो हमने पहले स्टोरी भी दिखाया था कि रिस्टोरेशन का ये जो न्यू हाफलोंग रेलवे स्टेशन है, जो है पूरे पानी और मलबे से पूरा दब गया था, वो अभी फिलहाल रिस्टोरेशन काम चल रहा है। और यहाँ से जो सीजीएम कोर्ट का सामने में से वो लोग अपना जो लोकेशन जो सिंकिंग हो गया था उसको देख कर वो फिर चला जाएगा डीसी ऑफिस में। डीसी ऑफिस में सारा जो लाइन डिपार्टमेंट है उसके साथ चर्चा करेगा। उसके बाद एक एस्टिमेट बनाया जाएगा। उसके बाद में ही जो प्लान एंड एक्शन जो है उसके तभी पता चल पाएगा कितना कैसे लिया जाएगा।
All right. Thank you, Swadeep, for giving us those details at this point in time, but keep a track on the entire development. All right, we now cut across live to Radisson Blu Hotel, where External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is addressing the river conclave.
About it is one example that will change the Bay of Bengal. But think what happens if land connectivity through Myanmar and the sea connectivity through Bangladesh become viable. On a commercial scale, a world all the way to Vietnam and Philippines. From Haiphong to Hazira and from Manila to Mundra will open up, creating an east-west lateral with sweeping consequences for the continent. It will not only build on the partnerships that we have with the ASEAN and Japan, but would actually make a difference to the Indo-Pacific economic framework that is now in the making. It is definitely within our ability to overcome geography and rewrite near history if only we can get the politics and the economics right. And as the Chief Minister pointed out, we can draw strength from our history in this regard. So let us see how this vision can be realized, can be achieved in real life on the ground. The starting point, I believe, is enhancing connectivity with Bangladesh, especially with the Northeast. The restoration of the 6 historical cross-border rail links, dormant since 1965, is one major step. Once operational, the Shahbazpur to Manishashan link will be extended within Bangladesh and connected to the Kulwara-Shahbazpur rail line, currently being modernized using an Indian line of credit. Inaugurated in December 2020, the Chilahati-Haldibari line will further enhance Assam's connectivity to Bangladesh through new Jalpaiguri, including passenger traffic. A new rail link from Akhora to Agartala too is being developed under grant assistance. And we all know that this is already increasing trade between India and Bangladesh. Overland movement of goods is taking place using 28 notified land customs stations and 3 integrated checkpoints along the border. The Maitri Bridge over the river Feni connects Sabru to Ramgarh and was opened by the Prime Ministers of the 2 countries in March of 2021. Negotiations are also underway to operationalize the BVIM motor vehicle agreement to ensure seamless vehicular movement. Inside Bangladesh, India is collaborating on a series of road projects, including improving the Ashuganj River Port, Akhora Land Port Road, under a line of credit of more than $400 million. The road project connecting Baruerhat to Ramgarh on the India-Bangladesh border, which will increase Tripura's road connectivity with Bangladesh, is also being implemented under another LOC of $80 million. The intricate and intertwined cross-border geography is being synergized by agreements for the movement of goods from Indian ports through Chittagong and Mangla ports in Bangladesh, and from there overland to Tripura and other parts of the Northeast. The protocol on inland waterways transit and trade, which both the Chief Minister and the Foreign Minister spoke about, offers similar potential using 10 specific routes along shared and intersecting river systems. On February 5 this year, a cargo vessel, and again the Chief Minister I think mentioned that, carrying 200 metric tons of food grains sailed from Patna in Bihar to Pandu in Assam, using the inland waterways of India and Bangladesh. So remember, transit benefits not only the 2 ends, but the middle even more, as it would see an economic activity that could not be envisaged earlier. The success of 4 border hubs between India and Bangladesh in the period before the pandemic has spurred enthusiasm. This encouraged us to set up 3 new hubs in Meghalaya, inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi during his visit to Bangladesh in March 2021. 9 new hubs are being set up, 3 in Meghalaya, 4 in Tripura, and 2 in Assam. Cross-border power transmission lines and digital connectivity infrastructure offer additional dimensions of connectivity. Today, 1,160 megawatts are already being supplied, and 1,500 megawatts more are in the pipeline from India to Bangladesh. The international gateway between Agartala and Cox's Bazar is helping provide faster internet access and broadband services in Tripura. We will be reviewing all these developments and more at the Joint Consultative Commission meeting with my Bangladesh counterparts in June. The emerging collaborative regional economy includes Nepal and Bhutan as well. A 6-lane bridge across the river Mechi connects Panitanki in West Bengal to Kakarbita in Nepal. It marks the passage of the Asian Highway 2 from India to Nepal. A road connecting Sikkim to eastern Nepal via the Chiva-Banjang border is also under construction as part of India's Border Area Development Program. With its completion, Sikkim will have access to Nepal's east-west highway with a boost to trade and tourism in both countries. Their game-changing potential is evident. Hydropower too offers great scope for cooperation, and this is relevant even more in an era of climate action. There is an established tradition in this regard between Bhutan and India, and a rapidly emerging one now between Nepal and India. From the northeast perspective, a hydropower station in West Kameng district of Arunachal has been supplying 150 megawatts of hydropower to Nepal. We are Nepal's largest trade partner and a significant supplier of petroleum products from facilities in Assam and West Bengal. A pipeline from Siliguri to Jhapa in Nepal is being explored, and with the launching of the RuPay card, Nepal is getting integrated with the Indian fintech and payment systems. Prime Minister's visit to Lumbini this month was the most recent occasion to take our cooperation with Nepal forward. Where India-Bhutan relations are concerned, its proximity and mutualism is best illustrated by the Manus Forest, part of a spectacular biosphere that stretches from here in Assam to Bhutan. The border is also a hub for bilateral trade and through 10 land customs stations in Assam and Bengal. Specific benefits flow from local strengths and competitive advantages. Sikkim, for example, is collaborating with Bhutan towards achieving 100% organic status with the objective of boosting agri-production and organic trade. A pilot launch of Bhutanese products in big Indian retail outlets in Guwahati, Calcutta, and New Delhi is on the anvil. Meghalaya began exporting low-ash, non-coking coal to Bhutan in June 2021. A greenfield oxygen plant has been set up at the Motanga Industrial Estate in Bhutan with 49% FDI from Meghalaya Oxygen. Commissioned in October 2021, the plant has already started exporting liquid oxygen to Assam. Now, all these are practical illustrations of a future that, without exaggeration, is buzzing with promise. We are looking at the feasibility of creating a cross-border rail line between Bhutan and India running through Assam, or expanding the Buddhist circuit to connect cherished religious destinations in Bhutan and Nepal to those in Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh. The development of infrastructure on the India-Myanmar border also serves multiple economic people-to-people and security imperatives. The ICP in More, just across Tamil, supports the movement of goods and people. The LCS at Zogwatar is already operational. A proposal for the construction of ICP Tamu as a mirror facility for ICP More has also been approved. The Kaladan multimodal transport project is the most significant of those that we have undertaken in Myanmar. It is also one of the hardest, both because of topography and because of insurgency. The project includes a waterway component of 158 kilometers from the river Kaladan from Sitwe to Paletwa, and a road component of 109 kilometers from Paletwa to Zoringpu on the Indian-Myanmar border in Mizoram. Efforts are underway to make Sitwe port operational at the earliest. But let me be frank about where we are. We have genuinely struggled with this very complex enterprise, but are more determined than ever to spare no effort in getting it done. India is undertaking 2 projects as part of the India-Myanmar-Thailand trilateral highway, connecting More to Moesot in Thailand through Myanmar. Being implemented under a grant, these envisage upgrading 69 bridges in the Tamil Kalega Kegon sector and 120-kilometer Kalega Yardi sector. Separately, a bridge from Mizoram to Myanmar across the river Wainu will be built under a $2 million Government of India grant. Modernization of the existing Beri Bridge that runs from the LCS Rikhaudar in Myanmar to LCS Zokothar in Mizoram is also being considered. Border hearts with Myanmar are being built or operationalized at multiple locations in Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Mizoram, and Meghalaya. Additionally, power and digital connectivity corridors from Manipur to Myanmar are already functional and proving to be immensely helpful to the communities on both sides of the border. All these are surely consequential. But just for a moment, step back and think bigger. What happens when the Northeast, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and Myanmar get more deeply intertwined? Each of them stands to benefit from more access, opportunities, resources, and markets. These endeavors will literally bring the ASEAN closer to us. Given the prioritization of the Northeast by the Modi government, it is only obvious that we should work with our most trusted global partners. In 2017, we launched the India-Japan Act East Forum as a platform to bring together all stakeholders and coordinate planning and implementation of projects being undertaken with Japanese assistance. These cover projects in domains as diverse as road and highway connectivity, renewable energy, forest management, urban amenities, and strengthening healthcare systems. During Prime Minister Kishida's visit to India just this March for the annual summit, the two Prime Ministers launched an initiative for sustainable development of northeastern region of India as an overarching framework for enhancing cooperation in new areas such as healthcare, business-to-business ties, disaster management, and skill development. An important element of this initiative is a program for strengthening the bamboo value chain in the Northeast. It aims to develop the region as a center of innovation and design for bamboo-based products. Skill development to train and equip young talent from the Northeast for the Japanese market is another important thrust area. There is a proposal from the Nursing Council of India, for example, to introduce Japanese language courses in nursing colleges in the Northeast. There's also a proposal to bring Japan Overseas Cooperation volunteers to select institutions in this region. Proficiency in Japanese language will enable skilled youth of this region to be deployed in Japan under the Technical Intern Training Program, or even to seek employment in Japan as specified skilled workers once the enabling mechanism is implemented. So my message to you today is that diplomacy is not just about bridging positions through wordsmithing. It is equally about bridging societies through projects. It is about connectivity, it is about contacts, it is about cooperation. I have today the privilege of both sharing some big picture thoughts on what regional cooperation has to offer, as well as detailing activities that make it possible. It is only fitting that I do so in Guwahati in the presence of the Chief Minister. The participation of my Bangladeshi counterpart only highlights the indispensable role of his nation as a partner in this regard. Equally relevant is the presence of ASEAN ambassadors with us. They too should, I hope, take away from this meeting a good sense of what all of this means to our future. And the presence of our Japanese colleagues brings out the catalytic role that our Quad partner can play. So once again, I thank you for providing me the opportunity to set all of this forth and wish you a productive conference. Thank you very much.
you, sir, for your inaugural address. On behalf of Bangladesh Foundation of Regional Studies, we have mementos for our special guest today. May I request Shri ASM Shamsul Arifin, Chairman of the Foundation, to kindly present the same to Dr. S. Jayashankar, Honorable Union Minister for External Affairs, Government of India.
कांग्रेस सरकार कुछ नहीं कर पाया
All the best. We, the people of the Northeast, can also contest it.
पूर्वोत्तर में क्या रही आज की सुर्खियां? चुनावी राज्यों की राजनीतिक हलचल। देश विदेश की वो खबरें जिससे है अपनों का खास नाता।
जनता जनार्दन के आशीर्वाद से डबल इंजन की सरकार।
जानने के लिए देखिए समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट हर शाम 6 बजे।
চাওচোন কোন নতুন খেলুৱৈ আহিছে।
বজাই দিম আজি।
মৰমেৰে বজাম, লাহে লাহে কৰি।
তেওঁ আমাৰ মাত কথাই
এয়াতো আমাৰেই মাত কথা। মাত কথা যদি এক, তেন্তে হৃদয়ো এক হোৱা উচিত। বিমল কক ভাষা কেশৰী।
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
Acha? Introducing the new Suzuki Avenus. The sportiest, zippiest ride in town that's loaded with next generation GPS navigation.
Simi kota ase?
Jodi moi koluheten ami matisu, tente wait karlaheten nohoy. The new Suzuki Avenus. Mose for trip.
সাধারণ স্টিল এনেকৈ পৰে, মাইথন স্টিল এনেকৈ পৰে, ধমকৈ।
Salmonella. Absent. Perfect attendance.
নিমৰ শক্তি ভৰা নিমাইলে আঁতৰাই 100টা বেমাৰ বিয়পোৱা বীজাণু। নিমাইল ঘৰ বিশুদ্ধ ঘৰ।
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Evening Prime, the primetime news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Evening Prime, the primetime news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice.
Welcome back, and we have a breaking news at this point in time, viewers. In a major sigh of relief, the two kids who had been abducted from Guwahati have finally been rescued. As per latest inputs, the children have been found at Kishanganj in Bihar, and both were abducted by a person who pretended to be their maternal uncle. The police, meanwhile, has detained one person in connection to the case. A team of Hathigaon police is en route to Kishanganj to bring back the two children. Well, breaking news at this point in time, viewers. In a major sigh of relief, the two kids who had been abducted from Guwahati have finally been rescued. And as per latest inputs, the children have been found at Krishnaganj in Bihar. Well, both were abducted by a person who pretended to be their maternal uncle. The police, meanwhile, has detained one person in connection to the case. A team of Hathigaon police is en route to Krishnaganj to bring back the two children.
অচি ছাৰে বহুতখিনি হেল্প কৰিলে ৰাতি তেখেতে বহুতখিনি কষ্ট কৰিলে কিষাণগঞ্জত ছাৰে কণ্টেক্ট কৰাৰ পিছত কিষাণগঞ্জত কিবা কৰি ইনফৰমেশ্যন কৰি কেনে পালে মোৰ ল'ৰাটোকো পালে মোৰ ছোৱালীটোকো পালে আৰু যোনটো ল'ৰা লৈ যাই আছিলে এই শ্বাহৰুখ খান বুলি কেনে তাহাঁতৰে কোনোবা হয় পাৰ সেই ল'ৰাজনে কৈছে বোলে মই মামা হয় পাৰ আচলত তাৰ মামা এইটো নহয় মোৰ বাচ্চাকেইটাক মিছা কথা কৈ কেনে মানে সেই ল'ৰাটো প্লানিং বনাই কেনে মোৰ ছোৱালীটোক মামা বুলি কেনে কৈ কেনে লৈ গৈছে মানে মোৰ এই আগৰ মোৰ যোনটো ৱাইফৰ যোনটো বিয়া ল'ৰাটোক যোনটো লৈ গৈছিলে সেই শ্বাহৰুখ খান সেই শ্বাহৰুখ খানে কাকবাক পঠাইছিলে তাহাঁতে অহা নাই কিহৰ কাৰণে তাহাঁতে দুটা নামত অলৰেডি কেছ দিয়া আছে ইয়াতে বেলেগৰ থ্ৰু দি ইয়াতে পঠাইছে মোৰ ছোৱালীৰ লগত কণ্টেক্ট কৰিছে কণ্টেক্ট কৰি কেনে কিবা কৰি ইনষ্টাগ্ৰামত কৈছে যে তোমালোকে তাৰ লগত গুচি আহা তাৰপিছত সিহঁতে ইয়াৰ পৰা ট্ৰেইনত গৈছে কিষাণগঞ্জত ছাৰে কালি ৰিকভাৰী কৰিলে নহয় ইয়াৰ পৰাতো 7টা বজাত ওলাই গৈছে বিহাৰ ৰাতিপুৱা মৰ্ণিঙত আৰ্লি মৰ্ণিঙত ওলাই গৈছে আমাৰ পুলিচ ইয়াৰ পৰা ছাৰে পঠাই দিছে ৰিকভাৰী কৰিবৰ কাৰণে
And on to a big story from Mizoram now. A solo protest by an environmental activist in Mizoram is hogging the limelight. Vanram Chuangi, popularly known as Ruat Feladnu, was on a sit-in protest at Aizawl, demanding a halt to environmental degradation caused by the highway expansion and widening project undertaken by the National Highway Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited. Well, Ruat Feladnu's main charge is that the huge quantity of soil excavated during the highway widening and construction process are dumped on the slopes and are finding their way into a few key rivers that are choking the flow. Well, these rivers, she says, are a source of sustenance for the people of Mizoram. And here she highlighted that the developmental projects at the mouth of Lawang River has had terrible effects. And what you see on your screens are the visuals of the construction site on one side and affected river on the other, where the water flow has been reportedly choked. And sources said that activists had filed RTI petitions to ascertain whether due environmental clearances were obtained before going ahead with the work by NHIDC. In most cases, the RTI replies allegedly revealed there were no clear permissions obtained. On Friday, Ruatfela sat alone protesting in front of the Mizoram Environment, Forest and Climate Change Department office in Aizawl with placards. Well, the Mizoram activist handed over a memorandum to the principal chief conservator of forest, demanding a halt in construction activities in as many as 4 national highways within Mizoram. And the 4 national highways which we are talking about is National Highway 6, Seling to Zokhathar. If we talk about the second highway which we are talking, a National Highway 102B, Kaifang to Manipur. The third National Highway 302, Lunglei to Labung. And National Highway 54, Aizawl to Tuipang. So Ruat Fella, in her memorandum to the PCCF, accused NHIDC of not adhering to the Environment Management Plan and said unmonitored construction work has hit the state, including villages like Tuipui D and others. The activist, who has also drawn the attention of Mizoram Chief Minister Zoramthanga, said NHIDC has not even replied to notices served by the Mizoram Pollution Control Board in 2021. Shifting focus now, the Interministerial Central Team has arrived in Haflong, where it is inspecting the damages caused in Dima Hasao in recent floods. Well, during the visit, the team will review losses incurred in Hill District in the last few days. The team will also hold a review meet at Dima Hasao Deputy Commissioner's office and also make a visit to the relief camps to ascertain the conditions of flood-affected people. And meanwhile, our colleague Swadeep Hasamsa has a report from Ground Zero. Take a look.
सेंट्रल टीम पहले तो एयर क्राफ्ट से हेलीकॉप्टर से आके आर्मी कैंप पे, असम राइफल कैंप पे उन्होंने नामा। उसके बाद साथ ही साथ में आपका लोअर हाफलोंग का जो रोड है, लंका हाफलोंग तक वो कनेक्टिविटी है, जो उसको भी उन्होंने जायजा लिया। उसके साथ साथ में मोलहोय एक गांव है जहां हमने थोड़ी देर पहले हमारे दर्शकों को लाइव पर हमने दिखाया था कि गिलगल जो गांव है वहां पर भी गया था। उसके साथ साथ में एनडी राजी, जहाँ एनडी राजी पे गया, फिर वहां पर उसके बाद सीधे डिमालिक राजी पे गया, डिमालिक राजी है वहां पे भी गया, और फिर से यहाँ न्यू हाफलोंग रेलवे स्टेशन में आने का बात था, लेकिन आधे रास्ते से ही वो लोग आके चला गया क्योंकि रोड कनेक्टिविटी अभी तक पूरी तरह से शायद रिस्टोर नहीं हुआ है। और उसके बाद सीजीएम कोर्ट का सामने में जो एक स्टेट हाईवे है, जो हाफलोंग दटिंगा फीडर रोड हम लोग पॉपुलरली कहते हैं, वहां पर भी सिंकिंग हो गया था, उसको भी जायजा लेंगे। उसके साथ साथ में जो ये जो सारा जो है अविनाश कुमार का लीडरशिप में जो सेंट्रल टीम आया है, उसको कंपनी कर रहा है हमारा डिमा हासाओ डिस्ट्रिक्ट का डिप्टी कमिश्नर नजरीन अहमद। उसके साथ में प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी जो टीटी डावला कपूर, वो भी साथ में उनके साथ कंपनी करके जा रहा है। और उसके साथ में तमाम जो लाइन डिपार्टमेंट है, जैसे पीडब्ल्यूडी और उसके साथ जो दूसरे रास्ता का जो डिपार्टमेंट है, उन सभी लोग यहाँ पर उसके साथ कंपनी करके जा रहा है। उसके साथ जो होम ऑफिस का जो काफी सारा टीम आया है, वो जायजा ले रहा है कौन कहाँ पे डैमेजेस हुआ है। और खास बात ये भी है कि डिमाली गांव में एक जीसी लंथासा हाई स्कूल जो है, वो पूरी मिट्टी से मलबे में पूरा दब गया था, पूरे हलेन की वजह से। उसकी वहां में भी उन्होंने जायजा लिया। और यहाँ ट्रेन रेलवे स्टेशन में आने का बात था, वहां पर यहाँ का जो प्रोग्राम है स्टेशन तक नहीं आ पाया। लेकिन हालांकि मैं ये भी बता देता हूँ कि न्यू हाफलोंग रेलवे स्टेशन है, अभी रिस्टोरेशन का काम है, जो हमने पहले स्टोरी भी दिखाया था कि रिस्टोरेशन का ये जो न्यू हाफलोंग रेलवे स्टेशन है, जो है पूरे पानी और मलबे से पूरा दब गया था, वो अभी फिलहाल रिस्टोरेशन काम चल रहा है। और यहाँ से जो सीजीएम कोर्ट का सामने में से वो लोग जो लोकेशन जो सिंकिंग हो गया था उसको देख कर वो फिर चला जाएगा डीसी ऑफिस में। डीसी ऑफिस में सारा जो लाइन डिपार्टमेंट है उसके साथ चर्चा करेगा। उसके बाद एक एस्टिमेट बनाया जाएगा। उसके बाद में ही जो प्लान एंड एक्शन जो है उसके तभी पता चल पाएगा कितना कैसे लिया जाएगा।
On to some other news now. The third version of the Nadi Talk, an international river conference to articulate a collective vision of cooperation in the Bay of Bengal and the Southeast Asian region, is being held in Guwahati. The third edition of the conclave, termed Nadi, that is Natural Allies in Development and Interdependence, is hosted by Shillong-based think tank Asian Confluence in partnership with the Union External Affairs Ministry, the Assam government's Act East policy of the Affairs Department, the Northeastern Council, and other partners. The two-day event was inaugurated by Union External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, with dignitaries including Bangladesh Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Momen, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, and High Commissioners and ambassadors from various countries. The event's country partner is the Bangladesh Foundation for Regional Studies and Knowledge. Partners include the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IIT Guwahati, and Guwahati University. As Northeast India and Assam remain at the center of activity, on May 29th, that is tomorrow, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will deliver the valedictory address. The conference will concentrate on the region south of the Himalayas, from the Ganga to Brahmaputra as a confluence of river basins with common challenges that necessitate close cooperation across political boundaries. Many leaders and experts are expected to reside on Guwahati for the conclave. All right, so the third version of the Nadi Talk, an international river conference to articulate a collective vision of cooperation in Bay of Bengal and Southeast Asian region, is being held in Guwahati. And this is the third edition of the conclave termed Nadi, Natural Allies in Development and Interdependence, is hosted by Shillong-based think tank Asian Confluence in partnership with the Union External Affairs Ministry, the Assam government's Act East policy of the Affairs Department, the Northeastern Council, and other partners. The two-day event was inaugurated by Union External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, with dignitaries including Bangladesh Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Momin, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, and High Commissioners and ambassadors from the various countries. Shifting focus now, 11 Bangladeshi nationals were detained from Dharmanagar in North District of Tripura on Friday afternoon. The foreign nationals were arrested from a Guwahati-bound night bus at the interstate bus terminus in Rajbari area. On receiving a tip-off regarding several suspects at the interstate bus terminus, a police team rushed to the spot and apprehended the foreign nationals. Among them are 7 adult males, 2 females, and 2 children. The detainees have been identified as Alamin Meena, Rahul Sheikh, Ahad Meena, Shahid Bib Mullah, Raju Sheikh, Mohammad Mullah, Sadiq Sheikh, Bina Begum, Kalsum Begum, Rafiq Meena, and Shafiq Meena. Preliminary interrogation revealed that the group came from Kalia Thana area of Jessore district in Bangladesh. Among the detainees, one is said to be from West Bengal, identified as Mohit Sheikh. It is also learned that Sheikh brought them to India for work, and they were supposed to go to Siliguri via Guwahati by bus. On to Manipur now. The newly constructed bridge at Lokchau village along the Imphal-More road has been opened for traffic after the wooden planks at the old bridge got damaged and became dysfunctional. Letpa Haukip, Minister Tribal Affairs and Hills, was on final inspection of the 185-meter-long bridge to fix the date for inauguration. However, the minister found the wooden planks and the parts of the old bridge in poor conditions. While seeing the potential risk and heeding public demand for opening the new bridge, Minister Letpa Haukip informally opened the newly constructed bridge for traffic. While speaking to media persons, Minister Letpa Haukip said that the newly constructed bridge was opened for traffic under the supervision of Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, as the old bridge was in a deplorable condition. However, it is not an official inauguration. The bridge will be inaugurated in the presence of Union Minister for Road, Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari during 100 Days, 100 Projects program of BJP government.
The long-awaited Lokchau bridge has been completed by NSIDCL. Even though it's not officially inaugurated, but government decided to let the people use the bridge. So from 27th May, on behalf of the state government of Manipur, allowed the people to cross the bridge.
And speaking on the sidelines of the event, Minister Letpao Haukip informed a monument will be constructed at Tengnopal along with the park to commemorate the Battle of Tengnopal. Haukip informed that when the British came to Manipur after conquering Myanmar, the British were met with a fierce battle at Tengnopal before the Battle of Kongjom in 1891.
The Battle of Tengnopal is, remember, the historian has written in a script clearly that Battle of Tengnopal is fought before the Battle of Kongjom War. That is why, in recognition of the war, the government of Manipur wanted to have a memorial park of Tengnopal battle. So I appeal all the concerned, the stakeholders of the Tengnopal district to support constructing the said park.
In a positive development, Mizoram has recorded the lowest infant mortality rate for 2 consecutive years. As per Government of India's Sample Registration System Bulletin or SRS Bulletin published this month, Mizoram has been ranked the lowest for 2nd year in a row with regards to infant mortality rate in 2020 amongst other Indian states. The IMR is widely considered as the major and reliable indicator for depiction of poor health scenario of a country or a region. The figure depicts the number of children dying at less than 1 year of age divided by the number of live births recorded in that specific year. An official statement released on Friday said that in 2019, the state recorded 3 deaths per 1,000 live births, which is the lowest in the country. Notably, Nagaland also recorded 3 deaths out of 1,000 in the year 2019. However, in 2020, which are the latest figures according to the bulletin, says that only Mizoram recorded 3 deaths per 1,000 live births. The other states with low infant mortality rates are Nagaland with 4, apart from Sikkim and Goa with 5 IMR rates. However, the national IMR rate, according to the report, stands at 28. According to the SRS report issued by the Government of India, infant mortality rate in Mizoram during 2016 was 27 and in 2017 it declined to 15. Further, it significantly declined to 5 in the year 2018 and 3 in 2019. On to Meghalaya now. Chief Minister Conrad Sangma has said that a third party is being brought in to look into the dome collapse case of the new assembly building. While talking to media, Chief Minister Sangma said that the new building is a complicated process and a third party would look into the matter to ascertain the real reasons behind the incident.
This project was a highly technical project. And a project of this nature has never been done in the whole of Northeast. In fact, in the entire Eastern region, maybe I think the Victoria building in Kolkata is the only one that might have the dome. But as per my knowledge, I think nowhere in the Eastern region this kind of a project has been tried out. So it was and is a very highly technical and a very complicated project, both from design and from engineering and from construction point of view. That's number one. Number two, regarding the entire question of free and fair inquiry that is being mentioned out here, a third-party agency has been brought in. And I think that in itself is an indication that it's completely disconnected. And this is an institution, and it's not that we have directly selected any institute. We have written to 4 institutes.
And on to some other news now. American comedian and a TV show host Ellen DeGeneres left her fans heartbroken when she announced the end of her much-loved The Ellen DeGeneres Show on television. Well, the show, which started in the year 2003 and was hosted by, as the title suggests, Ellen DeGeneres, has come to an end after 19 seasons on the air. After more than 3,000 episodes in these 19 years, the show not only did make people laugh, but also touched their lives, with the show's host inundated with humor. DeGeneres has been a co-producer of her show for these 19 years. Well, last year, she earned an estimated $84 million from the program. That made her the 12th highest paid celebrity in the world, according to Forbes magazine. In 2020, Ellen ran into a cyclone of controversies where testimonies from anonymous employees about the show being a toxic workplace surfaced on the news. However, Ellen has brushed off all allegations of it being the reason for the show to come to an end. Comedian Ellen DeGeneres opened the series finale with a montage of her show entrances throughout the years before going into her monologue. In her rather emotional speech, she reflected upon the societal progress she feels the world has made as it relates to the LGBTQ plus community of which DeGeneres has long been part of.
What a beautiful, beautiful journey that we have been on together. And if this show has made you smile, if it has lifted you up when you're in a period of some type of pain, some type of sadness, anything that you're going through, then I have done my job. Because of this platform, we have been able to change people's lives. And this show has forever changed my life. It is the greatest experience I have ever had, beyond my wildest imagination. So Twitch, one last time, dance with me.
And while news and updates continue on Northeast Live, so stay tuned for more news. Thank you.
पूर्वोत्तर में क्या रही आज की सुर्खियां? चुनावी राज्यों की राजनीतिक हलचल। देश विदेश की वो खबरें जिससे है अपनों का खास नाता।
जनता जनार्दन के आशीर्वाद से डबल इंजन की सरकार।
जानने के लिए देखिए समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट हर शाम 6 बजे।
চাওচোন কোন নতুন খেলুৱৈ আহিছে।